method of spirits to subvert and control.
Chronic stress and pain have profound effects on the brain, leading to physiological changes in both its structure and chemistry. These changes can significantly impair emotional decision-making, creating a cycle of stress and vulnerability that intensifies over time. This process is cumulative, with each episode of stress or pain adding to the burden on the brain, ultimately making it harder for individuals to cope with further challenges.
The brain's response to chronic stress and pain. When the body experiences stress or pain, it triggers a response in the brain that involves the release of stress hormones, particularly cortisol. Under normal circumstances, these hormones help the body deal with immediate threats by preparing it for a fight or flight response. However, when stress or pain becomes chronic, the constant release of cortisol can lead to significant changes in the brain. One of the most affected areas of the brain is the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher-order functions like decision-making, emotional regulation, and social behavior. Chronic stress and pain can cause the prefrontal cortex to shrink, a process known as atrophy. This reduction in size impairs its ability to function effectively, leading to difficulties in making rational decisions and managing emotions. Simultaneously, chronic stress enhances the activity of the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, which is responsible for processing fear and anxiety. An overactive amygdala can lead to heightened emotional responses, making it harder for individuals to control their reactions to stressors. This imbalance between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala makes it increasingly difficult for individuals to make sound emotional decisions, as the brain becomes more reactive and less capable of rational thought.
The role of spirits in emotional stress. In many cultural and spiritual traditions, spirits are believed to influence our emotions and mental states. These spirits are thought to interact with us, often in ways that are subtle and difficult to detect. According to these beliefs, spirits can amplify our emotions, particularly those related to fear, anxiety, and pain. When a person is under chronic stress or experiencing persistent pain, these spirits may use the individual's own words, thoughts, and fears to create a cyclic process that reinforces their mental and emotional distress. For example, if a person repeatedly verbalizes their pain or stress, the spirits might amplify these feelings, making the individual more sensitive to pain and more prone to stress. This process creates a feedback loop where the spirit's influence intensifies the person's emotional response to stress, which in turn increases their susceptibility to pain and illness.
The cyclic process of stress, pain, and spiritual influence. This cyclic process can be particularly damaging because it creates a self-reinforcing loop. The brain's changes due to chronic stress and pain make it more difficult to cope with additional stressors, and the influence of spirits can exacerbate this effect. As a person becomes more stressed, they may experience more pain, which further weakens the brain's ability to function properly. This increased stress can lead to a greater susceptibility to illness, as the body's immune system becomes compromised under the constant strain. Moreover, the interaction between stress, pain, and spiritual influence can create a sense of hopelessness, as individuals feel trapped in a cycle they cannot break. The cumulative nature of this process means that the longer it continues, the harder it becomes to reverse the effects. Over time, this can lead to serious mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety, which further impair the brain's ability to cope with stress and pain. Breaking the cycle. Understanding the interconnectedness of chronic stress, pain, and spiritual influence is crucial for breaking this cycle. Interventions that focus on reducing stress and managing pain can help to alleviate the pressure on the brain, allowing it to recover and function more effectively. Additionally, addressing the spiritual aspect of stress and pain, whether through spiritual practices, mindfulness, or other forms of emotional support, can help to mitigate the influence of spirits and reduce the cyclical nature of stress and pain. In conclusion, chronic stress and pain can lead to profound changes in the brain that impair emotional decision-making and create a self-reinforcing cycle of stress, pain, and illness. The cumulative effects of this process make it increasingly difficult for individuals to cope with additional challenges, leading to a downward spiral of mental and physical health. By understanding the role of spirits in this process, and by addressing both the physical and spiritual aspects of stress and pain, it is possible to break the cycle and restore balance to the mind and body.